kind of foolishness did we just go?
I didn't even pick up my phone. I was like, what is happening? I put myself in to somebody to take me out.
You give David
If y'all saw what just happened
chaos
backstage, that was like chaos. Today is chaos.
Already starting off as chaos. We have too many people with too many powers and privileges in this.
And somehow also not enough.
And not enough.
Kia ora, and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay. And I am recording this in the morning, which I'm not used to doing. It is a very early recording for me on this day. So I am drinking coffee, but I don't need it to be any time of day for me to drink coffee because I drink it all the time. And I'm actually out, so I might go grab some more. But I am showing off now this beautiful mug that my roommate got from the Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
When he went like a month ago. I think I've used it before, but never showed it off. So it is Gorgina. I love it. I love it. I love it. But if I was using a smaller mug, it would be my cup mug, which is not currently here. And I will just let Lana do the promotion for that.
You mean this cup mug? Yeah, cup mug. And yes, you can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. The link is in the bio down there, description below. And you can get your cup mug and other cup merch stuff that maybe not cup merch related, but it's okay. You can get it. And we do ship internationally, so there are no excuses. But since there are no excuses about that, there's no excuse for me not to tell you who I am, because I am Lana, your resident diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink that tea because I love me some tea. And if you have some tea, to do, hit me up. And I'm just drinking water right now. It's not super early, but I don't drink coffee anyway, so you would never see me drinking coffee. But water right now because hydration is important, and water gives you clear skin. Period. Yeah.
And I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. As if you can't already tell, I am wearing my Trixie Mattel shirt. Woo.
What?
I know. Shock.
I mean, I didn't know.
Okay, well, if you know Trixie's...
I love to sharp the Klein. I love having that just for any opportunity to bring up the Klein.
But she has very distinct makeup. Lana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've been meaning to say this on this podcast I'm talking with you, David, because you say you don't have a cute intro, but you have a cute shirt. Isn't that like a cute intro?
Whoa, it's almost like a paradox.
Oh my God. Isn't it like you planned this to be your cute intro?
Oh no.
Pretends to be shocked.
Oh no.
My mind has just been blown. This is my face right now.
I'm just, it's funny. It's fine. I've been wanting to say that for like a couple of episodes now. That's
very fair.
It's cute. I'm sorry to all our audio listeners, but we are getting some really good.
I forget sometimes that we have overlays, and I do just love using them at any given time, such as and including this one.
Oh, very shocked.
Come on, Brad. No, but anybody who watched last week might have remembered that I was talking about how I was going to go see Jimbo.
Yes.
Well, I saw Jimbo and I met Jimbo, and I got Jimbo's signature on my beautiful fan here.
Oh, wow.
So that was an exciting moment. But as far as drinks go, I am drinking a Monster. I also don't drink coffee, so I need Monster to get me through the day. Unfortunately, it's a little lukewarm, but
so is my water. It's okay.
Well, it's okay with water.
So is my coffee.
Okay. I just like my Monsters cold.
Cold. I understand.
Like
I literally just put my waters in the refrigerator, so this was the only one that I could grab it. It's just room temperature, but it's okay because I'm a singer and I'm used to room temperature water.
Fair.
But we're not here to just continue to talk about our drinks and our
our
cold or
5-minute
hot
intros talking about the temperature of beverages.
and things. We're here to talk about Down Under Drag Race. And
Woo! Episode 6.
It was episode 6, and it was an episode for the episodes. It was a drag brunch. It was.
I really liked this episode, actually.
Me too.
Not that I've disliked any of the episodes particularly this season. I think the season has been really good, and it's almost over.
It is.
I was like, oh my god, it's top 4. It's gonna be top 4 next week.
Yeah.
We have 2 weeks left, which is kind of wild to me.
Wow. It feels very like we should still be. It like breathed through. Like we breathed through the season.
This season feels like such an enigma. And I don't know what specifically it is, because I really like the cast. I think it's RuPaul. I think I don't need RuPaul hosting Drag Race.
I know. I have some issues with RuPaul, and it'll come up at the end of this episode.
We will discuss
I'm pretty bitter
at length issues with RuPaul in this episode specifically. But yeah, I'm like, I just don't think I need RuPaul hosting Drag Race anymore.
I
like this season, and I like the cast, and the challenges have been cute, and the queens have done well for the most part, bar Snatch Game. So
I've not been bored with this season, because I thought this season was really good. It had its ups and downs, but I think every season has their ups and downs. I thought this was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the brunch. I enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed most of the performances, I'll say. I enjoyed the girls. Yeah, I agree. I have to second the RuPaul of it all is not necessary. But yeah, we'll talk about that because I got some thoughts on this.
We might have similar thoughts because I'm mad.
I got some thoughts on RuPaul.
I think we all have very similar thoughts. And if you have similar thoughts to us or different thoughts to us, subscribe to find out our thoughts on everything. Because guess what? We're here talking literally every season of Drag Race. So, and we also do other things.
And you put your comments below. You subscribe first, then comment about what you think about what we're saying about. Because these girls deserve to know what you think. Like, we enjoy knowing what you think. So tell us what you think.
But yes, we get into the episode. Ashley is gone. I'm still sad.
Yes, and I need to talk about Ashley because last episode I felt like I did not give Ashley her flowers. I just was not in the right frame of mind, and so I didn't get to really talk about my love for Ashley. I think she's just been such a pleasant joy throughout this season, and her presence was definitely missed for me. She started off, she had kind of a rough first episode, but she really brought it back. And I thought she had some very, very strong weeks. She's super talented. She's entertaining. She's hot in and out of drag. And I don't know. I'm ready to see her again. I hope she gets another shot eventually on a different season. But I wanted to make sure that I gave her her due respect since I kind of was quiet last week.
Well, I think she's shit. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Ashley, and you know that. You know that, girl. Because Ashley's gone. Bumpa is shook. Mother Bumpa is shook that she was in the bottom. She is shook that she has not gotten, the recognition that she thought she would get. And we see that a lot with a lot of seasons of Drag Race. It's like girls come in, especially the more established queens, I will say, come in and, maybe Drag Race isn't exactly what they thought it was going to be. I do want to point out, though, Bumpa did make history last week. We didn't talk about it. But Bumpa Love is officially the first queen on Drag Race over the age of 50 to win a lip sync for your life.
Oh, well.
So, and I didn't realize that no one else had done that. So work, Bumpa. But yeah, so we go into the workroom the next day. The top 5 are there. it's top 5. How many times do they mention top 5 this episode?
I do love how they went into the workroom. Well, right after Ashley, and Ashley's message was "Cheers, Ash." Just cheers. I was like, love that.
Speaking of Ashley, I completely almost forgot. I have a different cute shirt.
Oh,
I have my Ashley Madison shirt. How could I forget? I was thinking I had already worn it, but then I'm like,
fan.
I wore my
Fake
Jimbo
fan.
shirt last week. No,
Fake
I'm wearing my
fan.
Ashley shirt. Sorry, Trixie.
Fake fan.
well, not that.
Fake fan. No, I'm kidding.
Not that.
Where's your Ashley Madison shirt?
Oh,
I don't collect drag queen shirts.
Where's your
I collect
Ashley
drag
Madison
queen
merch?
friends. That's what I do. No.
Is Ashley
got it
Madison your
now.
friend?
I would say so. We've
Is
had
she-
several many conversations.
I mean, I'm about to say, are you friends with Ashley on Instagram?
Friend of the pod, Ashley Madison. We'll say that.
See, so you're friends. You're friends with Ashley Madison through the Cup Pod Instagram account.
Okay, we get it. We know you've had several long conversations with Rita Menu. Okay, Lana, we get it.
I mean, but Ashley Madison is actually a friend of mine too on Instagram personally, and I've
Okay,
talked to her
well,
personally. So.
Okay,
She
yeah, I
doesn't
have
follow
too.
us.
Oop,
Yeah, she doesn't follow either one of us, but we've both talked to her several times.
Ashley,
But-
follow me.
but she follows
Ah.
me.
Anyway.
Fake friends. Fake friends.
Anyway.
Friends. No.
Lana is on one today. I don't know what's happening. Jesus. We go. RuPaul walks into the workroom
Looking
wearing
weird. What is that?
the biggest shoulder pads in this jacket I've ever seen.
I've ever freaking seen. I was
Why
like,
do I
it's-
never pay attention to that?
no,
RuPaul was just
Used
like,
to her looking weird.
it's like
RuPaul was
this.
just like,
His hair was
for
shrunk
this
and-
week's Maxi Challenge.
I was like, what is that?
For this week's Maxi Challenge, you will be performing at the Down Under Drag Brunch.
Baby, it was so weird. It was so weird. I was like,
Strange.
why are those shoulder
Strange and
pads?
wild.
Oh, look. Okay.
But yeah, so they are doing Drag Brunch, which is a challenge we've seen before. This is a very different iteration of the Drag Brunch that we've seen on Down Under, because last season it was a duos challenge and it was all kind of stand up.
Mm.
This time it
It's
seems
a
as though
talent
they
show.
kind of, yeah, I was gonna say they kind of combined the absolute flop that was the talent show from season 1 of Down Under with the Drag Brunch challenge from season 2, and I think they finally got it right.
It was,
Because I really enjoyed this.
yeah.
Because I love that everyone kind of, not everyone, most of them had like a speaking part and also their performance. I thought that was nice. I would have maybe loved this with more girls. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
I would have loved this to be the first challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
was with that.
I do love a talent show on episode 1. Just like, hi, you're coming onto Drag Race for the first time. Show us what you do best.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved to see that, because I would have loved to see what Rita would have done, what
Mhm.
Ivana would have done, what Amel would have done,
Ivory.
what Ivory would have done.
Ashley.
Mhm.
Not Ashley, no I'm kidding. I definitely would have wanted to see what Ashley would have done. And that's all 5 girls that were eliminated.
Yeah.
I know this cast. I am proficient with the people on this cast. No,
That's why you only named 3 of them, and you needed help for the other 2.
Oh.
Ooh.
you can fuck off.
Ooh.
You
Ooh.
can
I
fuck
think
off.
this is a
Both
roast
of you,
show.
actually.
I think this is a roasting show. Bam, bam, bam. Ooh.
Put them up. Put them up.
Put them up.
Well,
put 'em
David
up.
looks like a roast chicken, so we're fine.
Oh, no, we're not going for the looks. No, we not. Ooh,
Wow.
ooh.
I'm a trash.
It's fine. Everyone in the comments will just go on and on and on about how hot David is, so it's
Right.
fine.
They're like, you don't look like a
Um,
roasted chicken, David. You're hot. Oh my
You look like a
God.
snack. You look like a whole meal.
You're hot. But
There you go.
and then they will turn on you in an instant for coming for David.
Oh, I know. I'm expecting all of the
They
comments
don't turn
already.
on you. But anyway.
So Hollywood, for winning last week's Maxi Challenge, gets to pick the order.
Mhm.
And then we're doing some rehearsal prep work with Reese Nicholson and Brie. I do not remember her last name. However, I really enjoyed her, and I kind of wish she was just the guest judge instead.
Yeah, I was confused why she was not the guest judge because she was giving a lot more than this guest judge.
She was fabulous. Who's the
Amy
guest judge?
Taylor.
Amy something. Amy Taylor. I was like, you seem fine and lovely.
See, this is the thing for me. I didn't think she added anything to this whole thing with Reese Nicholson. She was just like,
oh,
she
Reese
had
was,
opinions though.
but see, I don't think she had opinions. I think Reese was like, this is what you need to do. She's like, yeah, I agree. You need to do this and this.
That's
and this.
fair.
Like she would just add on to what Reese was saying, never initiating the whole, maybe you should do this instead of this. Reese would always start the conversation with, maybe you should add more into this because I feel like it's a little dead. Yeah, I agree. You should definitely do that. Oh, I don't really like this part. You should maybe do. Yeah, I agree. You should probably not. It just didn't seem like she added anything. Like Reese would lead it and she would just follow. And she was just like, yeah, I agree. But it was never anything of her own opinion. Now the other woman, the other guest judge, I didn't think she added anything either. I think she was like, I'm just so happy to be here. I really love this show. I'm such a fan, and I am just so glad to be here that I get to finally sit on this panel and say some things. And she would give her little quips and her whips and be like,
you better work, Amy.
That's it. She didn't add anything, but she wasn't rude or anything, so I'm not gonna be like she should never come back and host and judge again. But yeah, yeah. So,
yeah. So they do their rehearsals. I was so confused because Gabriella goes up, and she's like, she goes to do her thing, and then it's like they put this like giant redacted over the screen. I'm like, what the fuck?
I kind of
redacted.
Redacted. I was like,
I missed
it was
what the fuck?
redacted.
Yeah,
I love it because
obviously
they
it's
usually
redacted.
they so often give away so much in these rehearsals that I was glad they did that. We could still get the point without actually seeing what it was. Same with they did it with Flor too, and I was like, okay, perfect. I don't need to see it right now. I'll see it later.
I want to see the full thing. I want to see her dressed up and full performance instead of rehearsal performance.
Sure.
I enjoyed the redacted part. I was like, good, redact that. Don't let us see all that. But they want to still fill in some time. So it's like, we won't just cut away from it, which they could have. But it just made it more interesting to speed it up and redact it. I thought that was a cute little thing.
Sure. Why not? Let me get a little bit of drama.
A little bit of drama.
When it comes to Holly picking the order, she's like, I want someone strong first. And basically does everything to say without actually saying, Bumpa, you're not going first.
You're not
Even though Bumpa wanted to open the show.
Right. Which now, looking back at the performance, neither one of them was going to open the show. But
the thing is, I agree with what Gabby was saying, is like, start low and you can only go up from there. And I mean, I kind of do agree with that to an extent. Like, the back three were obviously the strongest in this challenge, and we'll talk about it. But I was like, an upward climb maybe would have been nice. I don't know. I
think we still got an upward climb, because I think the two first was the weakest, and then it upwardly.
Yeah, I agree.
It upwardly climbed from there. I was just like, okay.
I do like what Reese had said, though, is like, end with your gold, start with your silver. And I was like, that's really good advice. I really enjoy Reese Nicholson. I'm going to say 3 seasons in, he is one of my favorite white homosexuals on a Drag Race panel. Really, truly, like, I really enjoy everything he has to say, especially when it comes to comedy things, because that is his forte. If you haven't watched his comedy special, go do it. It's incredibly entertaining. I think it's on Netflix. He's really funny, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, he's becoming one of my favorite parts of Down Under, honestly.
I feel like he's the one.
Always been my favorite.
I think.
Yeah, we know, because you want to fuck him, David.
First of all, why do we got to be so crude about it? Jesus.
Anyway.
Well, we know David has a type.
Okay.
I do not have a type.
Can I get my point out before we keep going
Go
into
for it.
this madness, grownish, nastiest conversation? Yeah.
Okay.
See, now I missed my point. I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
About Reese.
It was about Reese. Oh, yeah. I feel like out of all the franchises that I've watched and all the male panelists, he is actually my favorite because with male presenting.
Typically white homosexual spot. That typically.
I mean, yeah, but they don't have that in France. It's Kitty's.
That's why I said typically.
Typically, but out of all of the other panelists, I think he's one of my favorite panelists as far as the guy's perspective or male homosexuals of it all, the white male homosexuals. He's one of my favorites because I think he is not mean about his critiques. He's not overly like just he doesn't give me the why are you here? Because like that's how I feel about some people. I'm like, why are you even here? You don't even do this. Like you don't even go here. Like why are you here? But he is very like, and especially with stuff like this one, the comedy thing. I'm like, okay, makes sense. He actually he was like Rag to me last while we were talking about on Brazil. He was helpful. He gave good insight because this is what he does, and it was perfect for him. It wasn't like I think if Michelle Visage would have did it, it would have been like, okay. I mean, I don't know why
Michelle's funny,
but that's not
her expertise is not in these kinds of things.
Exactly.
She would have been able to help Holly,
right? But like, you need to keep that,
and maybe Isis, but like that's it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I thought it was fine. I thought it was good.
Yeah. We do get our emotional workroom moment as well with Flor. Everyone's talking about their drag names, and we hear Gabby's drag name origin, which I love. But the emotional moment is with Flor talking about her mom, and how her mom basically gave up her own life for Flor. And I was like, that's just
that's a hard thing to deal to live to know that you were born because your mom had to die and made the choice to give up her life so you can have life. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, literally.
Oh no.
I was just like, oh wow. Like,
yeah. This came out of people talking about where their drag names came from. So we also learned where Gabriella Labucci's name came from, which I thought was a funny story.
Didn't we just say that?
I just said that.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
How are you not listening to what we're talking about? David is like,
fuck my drag, right?
Yeah, David is like, I don't care what y'all talking about.
Look, I was busy pulling this thing, so
here you go, David. You can host now.
Not redacted. We're redacted. Oh, you guys, it's so funny. We're hilarious.
David, I love you.
But see, this is what happens when we start doing stuff and everybody's like, I got to, we podcast and we have a million things on our mind, people. So I am so sorry. Yeah, I understand, David. I've not listened to stuff y'all.
I'm a neurodivergent goofball. I'm surprised I make it through these in one piece, honestly. Like, let's be just real and honest here.
But I'm so glad you got the redacted because that's
yes, I do love that. I'm very thrilled to use that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure we can use that a lot.
It's good. A lot. Like, baby. What we're not gonna talk about is this. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna have fun with that button. That is gonna be one of my favorites.
Wait, do you all remember last week when
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was
wild.
That was crazy.
Girl. But I tell you what, when we get into that conversation where we had the
Yeah, I agree with you, Lana. Everything you said.
It's crazy.
But also, y'all remember that one thing? Mm,
Oh,
mm,
wait.
Wait, I'm gonna show y'all this. Oh,
Not
that-
Oh no.
Oh, that is so funny.
Let's just
You
talk
just
about
lost our
the drag
monetization.
I know. Let's just talk. Let's just talk about the fucking Drag Brunch. Gabriella
Oh, my God.
Labucci.
Oh God,
Oh no.
we're wild today. Okay.
And so was Gabriella Labucci. Girl, what the fuck was
What,
this?
what was this?
I love you, Gabby, but what the fuck was this, girl?
See, this is the thing. I understand where she was coming from. I understand what she was thinking, the concept behind it. It just didn't land. That was the only problem. Like, I get what she was like. I want them to think that I had all this hula hoop experience and she gonna come out and do some really wild hula hoop tricks.
Yeah.
But the gag is, I don't know how to hula hoop. And I'm just gonna be goofy and y'all gonna be like,
Goofy.
I thought you knew. Oh, y'all didn't get my tricks. I did it. And like when she was, look, Mom, no hands. I was like,
She played the game so hard with the girls instead of focusing on the actual like material of her bit.
yeah.
And she did say, "Oh, go ahead, David."
I was gonna say I have a dissenting opinion. I can let you all go
Go ahead.
first, unless you're
Oh
ready.
no, go for it.
I actually enjoyed this. I did not think it was that bad, and I think this would have actually really worked in a actual drag brunch where the audience is receptive. They're wanting to enjoy the show, and they've had a couple of mimosas. I think it would have worked. The problem is we got 3 people or 4 people on the judging panel, and they're just sitting there like stonewalling her, like not giving her the reactions that you would feel compelled to as an audience member. Like for me, I was chuckling at home. Yeah, it went on a little bit longer than it could have, but I did not think this was a huge flop. For me, it was there was a possibility at one point where she wouldn't have been in the bottom 2. I do think she did end up being in the bottom 2, like justifiably, but I don't know. It was not terrible for me.
It was very vaudeville feel, and I feel like, yes, in a drag brunch where people were a little loosey with, it'd be funny. But I feel like for this particular thing, she needed to have something more than just I can't really hula hoop. Like she could have came out and said something. Like it could have been like a stand-up kind of a whole routine. Like it's like, oh, I have this thing. You all want to see me hula hoop? Like I've been doing this for 10. Like she should have started with, I've been doing hula hoops for 10 years and I'm so great and yada yada yada. Y'all want to see me hula hoop and then get them engaged? Like yeah, hula hoop. And then she'll be like, and then start the whole thing, and they be like,
I agree, yeah, absolutely.
And then be like, oh, I meant to say I had a hula hoop for 10 years. I didn't say I
owned a hula hoop for 10 years.
Right, I never said I could do the hula hoop for 10 years. But then the whole thing with the pit crew throwing, it just fell a little flat. It just didn't make sense. She should have started with it should have been an interactive thing instead of more just a routine. It should have been more interactive. That way, I think she would have got the response from the panel and the girls as well as did her routine. That's what Reese was telling her. You need to do more. You need to do a little bit more in this routine, a little bit of more potatoes with the steak, because the steak of it all is the hula hoop, but you need some sides to go with it to make it a full meal. And she just gave us a piece of steak and was like, here you go, eat it, enjoy it. And you're like, but I want something else.
She gave us a medium rare steak, and I wanted a full steak dinner.
And she didn't give me no water or nothing to drink with it, nothing to suck it down with, no bread, no nothing. Just gave me a piece
and
of
I
meat.
like my steak well done.
I like mine medium well.
Me too.
I know.
Good.
Everybody judges me for it, but
I used to eat
Oh,
mine well
no.
done. No, I used to
Me
eat mine
too.
well done because I was like, I don't like a pink. But then I was brought to the light, was like, a little pink ain't that bad.
Right.
Because
That's
it's
what
more
she
tender that way.
Mhm.
And that's what she said. Ew.
Mm.
Ew.
I don't think this was fundamentally bad. I do definitely agree with both of you. I think the first half of it was actually really, really funny when she's
Mhm.
like, look, no hands. Like, I thought all of that was funny. It just fell off very quickly for the exact reason Reese was talking about. It just, there was substance. I just needed, quite literally, it was just a steak. I wanted a full steak dinner with a salad and a glass of water. Like, that's what
And
I
some
wanted out
dessert.
of it.
Well, if
Ooh.
only Irene the alien was there to make glass water,
Oops.
then we could have had steak and ice water.
See, stop.
Oh, there's my girl.
We do have
Mhm.
Irene. So let's
Moving
move
right along.
along. Mother
Mother
Bumpa.
bumper.
And yes, I did pick the absolute worst screenshots I could.
No.
The worst facial expressions. Just across the board, everyone has a bad facial expression, and I love it. We love you, Bumpa. This was a great concept. I like the idea. I really do wish she had just roasted the girls.
Just roasted, yeah.
But then again, no one did really all that great in the reading challenge. So I don't know how that would have turned out either. But I wish she had maybe leaned into, reading the eliminated girls. Because she was like, I had reads for them, but 3 of them had already gone home. Like, I kind of wish maybe she had leaned that direction and been like, oh, Ashley Madison, such shit. Amel can't even last 1 episode. Like, I kind of wish she had maybe gone that direction with it. I think what she did had a good concept. It was my least favorite performance, but I think some of the things she did were entertaining. So overall, this is not the worst talent show performance I've ever seen in my life. But this was like, if Gabriella was the steak, this is like, I don't know, like a rare unseasoned steak. I don't know. I'm sorry, Bumpa. I love you, Mother Bumpa, but
Yeah, so I agree. It was my least favorite of the night. It was not terrible, but what I felt like is that she prepared what she thought was going to be her successful comedy show. And here's where I start to get annoyed, because we had a saboteur in the audience who decided to make it an improv thing. Bumble wasn't planning an improv thing. She was doing her own comedy set. So RuPaul needed to shut the hell up and let Bumpa do her thing. She shouldn't have put her on the spot. She shouldn't have made her feel awkward. It already wasn't going that great. So why are you sabotaging her? Aren't you supposed to be there supporting these girls and rooting for them, not trying to make them look stupid? So yeah, I was super pissed at RuPaul when she just started interrupting and expecting Bumpa to just go along. This is not the Snatch Game, RuPaul. We already had that. So I was annoyed.
Ooh, David rant. We haven't had one of those in a minute. But I agree. I think everything you said was very valid because I didn't think that was fair, and she shouldn't have. But I think she was kind of trying to pull more from Bumper. But I'm like, this isn't the place and the time to do that because she prepared for this. She prepared this. This is not, like I said, this is not improv. So for her to, I thought Bumper did. It wasn't the best. It was my least favorite of the night, but it wasn't as horrible as it could have been better. But Rue didn't have to make it worse.
Right. And I'll be honest, I 100% think RuPaul did not have good intentions with this. I think she was trying to make her tank. Because I think that they already had their order. They already knew they wanted Bump out next. So I think RuPaul was just going to make it irredeemable if she could. So she screwed her over and she got what she wanted. So good job, RuPaul.
yeah.
Well,
Julie.
Julie.
Shall
Julia.
along.
We shall.
To Flor.
Flor, we find out Flor was a nurse.
Is a nurse.
Is a nurse.
Actively a nurse.
Right. Did not know Flor is a nurse. But Flor was going to show us how to do CPR. Not only were we going to get a good show, but we're going to get some good information and learn how to do CPR if somebody chokes.
And the
you
good
know
news
what?
is we finally found somebody who can help out Jiggly.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That's a deep cut.
I get it.
I
I'm
don't know
mad
what
at you
that
for that.
means.
I'm so mad at you for that. I
What's
am
that?
so mad at you for that. It was good. No, that was good.
Thank
I'll
you. Thank
I'll
you.
say I don't know what that means.
Back in season 4, Willem, I don't remember the context, but she looked at Jiggly and she's like, "Nurse,
Nurse, nurse."
Okay, but I'll say this because I don't get anything you're talking about. Flor looks great. Flor did a great job. I thought Flor was funny. Flor was entertaining. She was informative, and it was a really good performance from Flor. I was like, yes, girl, finally. And I love that Flor got a chance to redeem herself. And is it still a little Flor? Flor always gives us the shimmy shaking, the booby shakes. That's just Flor and but it was funny. And I think it was the booby shake was in a good spot. Like she did it when it needed to be. It made it funny. It wasn't over the top. It was just enough. I love Flor in this one. I thought Flor did a great job, and I love her little outfit, her little sexy nurse outfit. I'm like, ow, I love that. She looks great.
I thought Flor killed this. Like honestly, she could have easily won this week for me. It was between her and somebody else for me. But I was kind of hoping she'd get her win just so
Me
that
too.
everybody would have a win. And I
Her
think it would have been
win that
deserved.
she was entitled to.
I feel like with this and her runway, she was entitled to the win.
Oh,
Honestly.
absolutely. I could not agree with you more.
With this in the runway, I felt like she was entitled to the win because I feel like the other person who we talk about did a really great performance as well. But I think the runway Flor
I
edged
think
her out.
I think both of them, if I'm going to be honest, both of the other people.
Oh, we'll
I
see.
think she squeaked out over both of the other people.
Okay. For
we'll
me,
see.
there's somebody that I like better on the runway and better in the challenge.
Okay,
But
we'll talk about it. We'll talk
to
to her. Go ahead. But yeah, I think Flor did a great job.
I loved this.
Yeah.
She said she was going to teach us how to do CPR, and I was worried. I was like, Flor, you are the only member of my team left. I'm going to need you to pull this out, diva. And she did, and I am mad. I have been mad since I watched. I'm upset, and I'm disappointed because Flor should have won this. She floored the competition.
She did. She was beautiful. It was great.
It was so good. When she's doing the CPR and she's doing the like the shimmying, and like when she had her little like speaking moment, which she was very nervous about, and she's like, "If you get too drunk and think I look like Bumpa Love, please drink a glass of water." That was the single best thing anyone said all night.
Well, what was so good about that was because we'd already heard that joke from Bumpa. So when she started like saying the same joke, I'm like, oh no, you didn't know Bumpa was going to say that. And then she flipped it on its head. And I'm like, okay, girl, you're smart.
I think she said it because she knew Bumpa, or she heard Bumpa say, if you drink more, I'll look prettier to you. So she was like, if I start to look like Bumpa after the drink, drink water.
Please drink water.
Like it was so good. It was so good. I think
I'm mad.
I'm mad. She was so good. She was so good, and I enjoyed every bit of her performance. But let's talk about Miss Isis Avis Loren. Can I just say, I did not expect this. I did not expect this. When she was talking about what her talent was, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, are you going to depress us? What is going on?
I was expecting some like big dramatic like
monologue
production number. Yeah, I was expecting some sort of like monologue situation. It's just a lip sync and like a little talking piece before. I thought the talking piece was cute. I thought she found a really good way to make like
her
to bring some brevity to it.
Yeah, her segue when she was like, everybody scream, woo, scream now, scream some more. She was like,
Makes us want to
hard.
scream.
I'm gonna scream sometimes. I was like, that's a beautiful
is hard.
segue. I was like, you know what? That's a beautiful segue. But then her lip sync, I was like, okay, she's doing a lip sync. Cool. But her performance of that lip sync was beautiful. And when she was bringing out her props and the scarf.
Yeah.
The scarf is what got everybody. It got me too. Because at first she had the fan, and it was like, oh, okay, the fan is pretty, and she was fan dancing. Then when she put out those scarves and was ripping and twirling around, I was like, yes, ma'am, mama. That was just a good performance. And if I was at a drag brunch and somebody did that performance, I would be like, where's my pocketbook? Here's some here's some money, because you earning this. You working for these tips today. And she was working like the rent was due, and she looked beautiful. The blue then into the white dress, she looked beautiful. Her makeup was beautiful. She looked amazing. I can't say it enough. She killed this.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of alluded to this earlier, but during the first half of this, I was like, actually, I think she's in my bottom two. Like, instead of Gabriella, because at least there was some creativity to what Gabriella was doing. And for this one, it was a straight up lip sync at first. And I was like, why is that your talent? Like, it's not even an original song or anything. I just was like very disappointed at first. And then she pulled out the scarves, and then she won me over. She definitely got me back on that. So I would not have had her in the bottom two. I wouldn't have given her the win, though. I wouldn't have. I did like this, but I just wanted something a little more creative. I appreciate the creativity she did put in there, but I don't know if it was enough for me to give her the win.
I wouldn't have gave her the win.
I think so. We also have to remember that this is a RuPaul judged and hosted drag race. Therefore, if the competition is as close as it was between the top three, RuPaul is going to do whatever he needs to do to make sure that the person that wins the challenge that he wants wins the challenge, so that the person that wins the season that he wants wins the season. And at this point, I'm going to be honest, I don't see a universe where Isis doesn't win the season. I think it's been made very clear on several occasions that Ru thinks Isis is the consummate professional, the fashionista, which she is. And I'm not saying any of this to discredit anything Isis has done this season, because she is absolutely incredible, and I'm a big fan. But it is becoming very, very clear that she wants Isis to win this season. And I'm not mad. It's Isis or it's Gabriella.
Yep.
And I'm fine with that personally. However, I think in this instance, I do think Flor had the strongest performance and strongest runway of the evening. So I understand the win here, but it's just one of those, RuPaul's making it very obvious who he wants to be the front runners. And since Isis hasn't been the absolute front runner, we're going to give her this win here to establish her as, the top two front runner. And again, I'm not mad at that. This is no shade to Isis whatsoever, because she is a very strong performer, and I really enjoy her. And I'm a huge fan of hers. It's nothing against Isis. It's everything to do with RuPaul being RuPaul. So.
All right. Can we move? Hollywould Star. Hollywood. I enjoyed her performance. I wish she would have sang the entire time.
Me too.
I agree with Michelle Visage. I feel like she, or at least more. Like, it was cute to give us the cute little operatic moment, but we just saw a whole lip sync from Isis, and it was like, although they didn't know what each other were doing, because Isis didn't really tell what she was doing. And so Hollywood wouldn't know exactly what Isis was doing. But I feel like it's something different if we would have saw a live performance from somebody instead of a lip sync. But in saying that, the lip sync was great. Like, Hollywood smashed it and killed it. She's very talented. And it was an original song. Like, it was her song. So that was the difference between and a good song. It was the difference between her and Isis. Like, Isis performed a lip sync and sang somebody's song. Hollywood performed a lip sync, and it was her song, and it was a good song, and it was a good message behind her song. Well, it was just
Great
basically
message.
it was basically talking about how great she is. Really, it's just like,
Mhm.
if you jealous, that's on you. I'm sorry, but I'm great, and I'm talented, and I'm this, and I'm that. So it was very uplifting for Hollywood, and it was a. I wish, like I said, I do wish she would have sang it more, but I think the lip sync that she did do was really good, really strong, really strong.
Yeah, for me, Hollywood was my winner. At first, when she came out and she started lip syncing to her own song, I'm like, oh, that's how you know she's an American girl, because that's how the American girls do the talent shows.
Yeah.
So, but I actually really liked this. I thought she killed it. She sounded great in the beginning. Her song was so good. She danced it really well. She looked great. Like, she had everything for me. This was everything for me. Like, I would have been fine with Flor getting the win, but for me, it was about Hollywood. And we'll get into it later, but I really don't think she got the credit she deserved for the performance, because other people were not focused on the performance. But I hope she can be proud about this, because I even saw her Instagram where she said she was disappointed by this performance, and I think it's because she got gaslit into being disappointed by it, because
Hmm.
there was nothing to be disappointed. She talked about like a wardrobe malfunction that was not noticeable. She was worried her bra might come off, because like when she took off her cape, something came loose. And she wasn't wearing pasties, so she was very, very nervous about that. But it didn't come off, girl. So we didn't know. We did not know.
No clue.
I really liked this. So would have got my win.
I thought Hollywood was great. I I agree with you, Lana. I wish she had sung the whole time. We were under the impression she said, "Oh, I'm gonna sing opera," and that's what she said, and that's not what she delivered. I'm just gonna be honest. That's not what she delivered. And so for me, like that's nothing against her performance, because I think her performance was absolutely wonderful. I thought the song was really well written. I thought she performed it very well. She's an incredible entertainer. But when you say you're going to sing opera and then sing 2 lines and all you're singing is la, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. I'm going to be honest. I wanted more of the singing aspect, and that would have separated her from anyone else in this, and would have been very, very strong, clearly.
Hmm.
I was like, I was a little taken aback when she just started lip syncing. I was like, oh, I guess we're not getting what she had said the entire episode she was doing. So
We got
that
something
was
else
for
that
me.
was really good.
Sure, but like, how many times have we seen this? Like, I do agree to an extent, to a very small extent, with what Michelle was saying. Is like, and I also don't think she was aided by the fact that we've seen her lip sync to things she's written twice. We had the Mardi Gras episode, and we just had the girl group. So
Right.
I don't think she was aided whatsoever by this challenge being where it is in the season.
Because I agree when they said that it's the same. We've seen it before. We've seen her lip sync to her songs before, and it's like, okay, yes, I get it. If she would have gave us a little bit more in the operatic part before she went into her lip sync, it would have been perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much time they gave each person, but like if she would have gave like a line or two or more in the operatic, like give us a then went into the thing, then it would have been like, oh, so we did get our opera moment instead of just la,
Or even open
la.
and close with opera. That
She,
for me even would have been fine.
she would have been too tired to close with that.
But if she had closed
If
it
she
with
coulda
opera, that would have
did
been
it.
incredibly entertaining, and I would have been very impressed with it. And I'm not
That's
saying I wasn't impressed. I'm just saying,
after all that dancing to go and run around and go, oh,
literally, like that would have been great.
Ooh,
And
she
yeah,
was so tired.
so
But yeah,
yeah.
it was still good.
She's still
Not taken
incredible.
away.
It was very
She's
good.
still
Still
absolutely
incredible. I'm about to say it was
Incredible.
still good, but it was just
Yeah.
I wanted a little bit more
Yeah.
of what I was promised.
Yeah. But category is not in my backyard barbecue.
Not in my backyard barbecue.
What the fuck is this category?
I mean, backyard barbecue.
In the words of Jujubee, what the fuck is backyard eleganza? Like, what? I don't know.
I mean, they gave us backyard barbecue. I wasn't mad at any of these runway looks, honestly, if you want to be real.
Well, Gabriella didn't give us barbecue. She gave us tomato
condiments.
sauce.
I mean, that's at a barbecue. You go have ketchup at the barbecue if you're having burgers.
I was trying to make a joke.
It wasn't funny.
I'm serving fashion tonight on the runway.
And that's what she did. I kind of like this, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of live for this saucy, spicy barbecue ketchup. Well, as she called it, tomato paste. That's what they got. But ketchup looked on the runway. I thought she looked gorgeous. I loved the all red everything. And she went out of her norm because she was like, I was going to make it very camp and funny, but I wanted to listen to what they're saying and didn't make it camp. And I thought she looked beautiful. I enjoyed this look, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I want to, Gabriella, if you're watching, which you probably are, I want to know how you were going to have this originally, because we know you couldn't just bring a new outfit randomly. But I want to know what the camp version would have been. With that said, this was my favorite of the night on the runway. I really liked this. I thought she looked very sexy in this, and it really fits the theme. I thought this probably fit the theme better than almost anybody else. Maybe one other person fit better, but there was just, we got different makeup from her, different silhouette a little bit. I really liked it. So I'm impressed.
Well, I'm glad there are at least two people here who really, really enjoyed it. I didn't love this. And
Why?
I think the reason why is honestly to do with the makeup. I don't get this harsh, severe, no brow, giant wing block eyeliner with this look. Like, I don't think those things necessarily go together for me. I think the dress is cute. I like the gloves. I don't like this hair on her. I honestly wish it had been that color, but just like a bob. I think that really would have accented her face shape really well. The makeup for me just was not my absolute favorite thing. Because if you're saying here that you're trying to go for a little bit more glamour, the makeup for me doesn't fully give glamour.
It gives model to me.
It's more giving me spook. Just because of how her face was also very not like, she didn't look gaunt, but there was definitely there was less contouring, so her face was a little bit more like the way she did her makeup overall. I appreciate that it was something different. I do like that. I just don't think that goes with this specific garment.
Okay.
It still feels like if she's saying she's trying to go more glamour, it feels like three different things, because she's saying glamour, her makeup is looking a little bit more spooky, and the costume is more camp.
I don't even know if she was saying glamour. I think she was going more sexy. And that sexy, smoky eye is the look I think she was going for. Is that dark, sexy kind of look. So I think for me, it makes sense because she was going for sexy, not glamour, just sexy. So that's a dark, sexy, smoldering eye. And I think it works.
It definitely worked for me.
It works, but
and this material is beautiful. It's so shiny. Like I'm really getting the ketchup fantasy from this.
I mean, it's definitely giving you the ketchup fantasy. I don't think that was ever any doubt about. She's giving the ketchup fantasy. It's sexy ketchup fantasy. It's like, pour it all on me, girl. Yes, that's what you
don't lose the forest for the trees. It looks good overall.
She makes you feel like ketchup, like, it's one of those. Me and my man, we just got together, and I was in the kitchen cooking, and things got a little spicy, heated, and we just started grabbing everything out the cabinet and was just squirt. Yes, it's very much sexy ketchup,
And then I
spicy,
crystallized.
and all the you just everything in the counter. Y'all just start throwing it on each other, and it was a sexy food fight. I tell you, it's cute. It's I like it. I like it.
Scores.
David.
85.
90.
Gabby, I love you. Gabby, I love you.
It doesn't sound like it.
Gabby, I love you.
Well, we got to start it off like this. I don't even know.
I'm not pleading. Don't worry. I'm gonna give this a 60.
Oh, that's not a bad score.
David seems to think it is. So
I just don't see a realm where this is 60, but it's okay.
From the king of low scores himself.
All right, I'm about to say
questionable. Next up is Bumpa Love as Sandra D for some reason.
This is one I was like, I don't get this one. Like, what does this have to do with the backyard barbecue?
In my heart of hearts, I honestly think Bumpa was like, well, I want to wear this look. I know I'm lip syncing. I want to be comfortable. That's no shade.
I literally thought the same. I was like, she's thinking, oh, I'm leaving. I wanted to wear this, so I'm going to wear this. Forget about my barbecue.
And I'm going to be honest. I think this is the best Sandra D we've ever seen on Drag Race.
All I know is Bumpa.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love the justification Bumpa gave for this. Bumpa was like, look, this is what I see people wear at the barbecues I go to. So with the barbecues I go to, they have it on leather. And so I figure I'm going to put on my leather coat too. And this is what I wear. I was like, Bumpa girl.
Didn't she say, I'm sure she's been to a barbecue before?
People around me growing up going to barbecues were wearing leather. Therefore, I'm dressing up as Sandra D.
I was like, what? Bumpa. I was like, Bumpa.
Girl.
Mother Bumpa. We love you.
We love this.
We truly love you. Like, love you,
down.
But girl.
Mama, category what?
Mother. What? Like,
category
Bumpa said, forget this theme. I'm wearing what the heck I want to wear. I don't care about this theme to y'all. Not my barbecue.
Everybody else was wearing condiments or food or, pool floaties. Sandra D.
It's like, what?
All right, Diva.
Bumpa said, F this assignment. I'm not doing it. And I'm going to tell you I'm not doing it. And I'm not doing it. And I won't care.
F your drag race.
F your drag race. F your theme. F your runway. F all this. I'm doing Mother Bumpa. I'm going to do what I do. And that's it. And I will say, it's the best Sandra D I've ever seen on Drag Race.
It looked good.
She looks phenomenal. Her body is so good in this. It's so
good.
Wait.
That necklace. I used to work for paparazzi jewelry. I used to sell paparazzi jewelry. And we sold a necklace that looked just like that. I just looked at that. Literally, I had that necklace. And, oh my God. I used to wear that all the time. Mother Bumpa, you go ahead. You do you. Right. You say F that thing. And you know what? I'm going to say F that thing with you. I don't care nothing about that thing. You still get a 95 from me because you look good doing it, Mother Bumpa. Period. I don't care what they say.
Right. I'm giving her a 69.
Nice. I'm gonna ding her just ever so slightly for the category because the category at hand is not necessarily what you served, Mother Bumpa. But I am gonna give you an 80 because you look phenomenal.
And she got a B on her belt. You see the B on the
back of the jacket.
And on the back of the Bumpa. Yeah, I don't care. I stand with you. I stand by you. I do too,
but I'm still going to give you an 80.
I'm not see nothing wrong with a little Bumpa Love.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little Bumpa Love, baby. I
don't see anything wrong with Flor.
I picked up the reference, David. You see, I got it. But Flor.
Baby, David, I'm gonna need you to lean. I'm so sorry, darling. I'm gonna need you to lean. She did what needed to be done. This is one of my favorite things I've seen in a very long time on Drag Race.
Flor ate this up. Flor, first of all, I was like, does she got burns all over her body and face, her make oh, if she would have had one more burn on her other side of her on her other shoulder, I would have been like, girl, yes. But the one that it looked so real and painful that I was like almost uncomfortable, but like, oh, it looks so good. And this grill on her head and the burnt up I ate this up. I lived for this moment. I was like, oh, Flor got this. If we doing both categories here, we doing both the performance and this runway, Flor ate this thing up. She got it locked down. I was like, she got it locked. She looks so good. I love this so much.
Yeah, I thought she looked very good. It was a really interesting concept. I like the grill, the burns, everything. I don't know why this dress though. Like, I think I would have liked something that went better with like a barbecue, but she still looks good.
It depends on what barbecue.
She's giving 50s housewife burned at a barbecue.
I'm about to say it depends on what barbecue you go talk about, because if you're talking about a backyard barbecue that's like for the ladies at a tea type, a garden party barbecue, she's perfectly dressed for a garden party barbecue.
Yes, I haven't been to those kinds.
You need to up your game.
Well, you should.
Well, actually, no, it's not for you because it's a garden party for the ladies. It's not for you. That's our safe space. Sorry.
That's homophobic.
Sorry, men.
Ew, man.
Ew, men. I hate them. No. No.
I do hate them. Let's just be honest.
I mean, but garden parties is usually for the ladies.
Fair.
But yeah, this is what you would typically wear at a garden party, which could be considered a backyard barbecue because they can have them outside on the patio. Backyard.
I want to clarify as well. We don't know if backyard barbecue, quote unquote, was what they were given on the brief.
And it said not my backyard barbecue. So
what they may have been told was not necessarily what the category ended up being.
That's why Bumpa did Sandy from Grease.
Because they told her,
okay, I can't do anything that has to do with a barbecue. I can do anything but a backyard barbecue.
Oh my God.
And so she gave us Sandra D. Yep. Floor scores.
Lana?
Oh, it was you. I just
you
did
had
Bumpa.
been starting the scores. So.
I only started one, David. I only started Bumpa because
you started.
I only started Bumpa.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Okay,
no,
77.
She is correct.
77.
Flor's cup is overflowing for me because she's great.
Duh.
Period.
Duh.
It's so good. It's so
she
good.
has a fucking grill on her head.
Yep.
Hello?
Yep. And the meat dangling off the grill. Come on. Come on.
We love some meat dangling.
We love some meat dangling.
We sure do.
We love some meat danglings off the grill.
That dangly meat.
That dangling meat.
Avis, Avis, Loren.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I like this. We'll start positive. I like this a lot. I like the little cover up. I like the whole bit. The dress. RuPaul was like, this is the most groundbreaking dress I've ever seen. I love this dress. This is one of the best things I've ever seen on the runway. Girl, it's a leopard print simple dress. And that's no shade again to Isis. I feel like I'm being really mean to Isis this episode, and I'm really not trying to be because I love her. I think this is cute and lovely and wonderful and fits the theme. This is not groundbreaking.
It's not groundbreaking. It's cute. It's a little fashion dress. And I don't know what Ru saw about it's the best dress, and she's the best dress she's ever seen. I'm like, you host how many seasons of Drag Race upon how many franchises?
47,000.
And upon how many franchises? And this is the best dress you've ever seen?
It's giving me we want you to win the challenge, and we want to make it sound especially deserved.
Yep.
If you want to give her the win, just give
her the win.
It's
you
your
gotta,
show. You don't have to.
You don't have to try to gaslight us.
Right, exactly. This was fine.
It was fine.
It was my least favorite tonight, not because it was bad, but because it was fine. It barely completed the mission here, so. It was fine.
She turned in, to use a Lana euphemism, she turned in the assignment on time, did not do anything extra, and got 100% on the paper.
Right. It was nothing extra, no frills. And she got one thing incorrect, so she got 99.
Sure.
It wasn't even 100. It was okay. It was just perfectly fine for what it was. Was it
Sufficient for the
groundbreaking?
category.
Right. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like I think I like Bumpa's non-category better than I like this
Right?
category. If we go be honest, it was perfectly fine. But the fact that the RuPaul is trying to gaslight us to believe this was the best thing we've ever seen on this whole entire RuPaul Drag Race stage is very disheartening and very upsetting. Honestly, it's like very annoying because it's like you're not going to sit here and tell me what I'm watching is something way better than somebody else who just walked out on this runway, and this is better than that when it first of all fit the theme to the point where it was immaculate and better. Like there's no way this is getting a overflowing cup for me. Like no, because it was fine. It wasn't great. It was fine. And for RuPaul and them to act like this was the best thing ever, it's very insulting to my intelligence, honestly.
It was one of my least favorite RuPaul episodes.
Yes.
Like, she was not on her.
She was on one.
But I will say though, the bitch looked good. And she has not had that many good looks this season.
No, she looked good. The blue was perfect for her.
Yeah, I really liked it.
One of my favorite Ru looks in a long time, honestly. I really enjoyed it. But
yeah, I enjoyed this blue.
Scores for Avis, Loren.
She gets a 66.
She gets a 69.
Nice.
I think for the look and the performance of it all, I am going to give her an 85 because I do think it was very well executed. I loved the way she camped it up on the runway. So,
I'll give her a 79. Let's take it up some points because, she did do that. It was fine.
The performance of it was so good.
It was fine, though.
Like,
so still 66 for me.
Understood. Fair enough.
And last up is Hollywould Star.
She was a pool floaty obong floaty. She was a floaty of all floaties. And you know what? I will rest my body on Hollywood in the pool if she wanted me to. But she looked great. She looked great. As she said, she was giving her Barbie fantasy, her Black Barbie fantasy in the pool. I was like, okay. I love that she used the pool floaty as a thing around her waist and then the one on the shark on her arm. She looked good. And then the material of the dress was all very pool floaty like. So I think she hit the assignment because, go to the backyard barbecue with a pool and this dispels the myth that Black folks can't swim. Just want to say we do get in the pool from time to time when our hair ain't done. Thank you.
Yeah, this was probably my second favorite look of the night. It might not have been the best at matching the category, but I can see why it does. I thought she looked so good. And honestly, I'm sorry to harp back on Isis, but who is that?
Me? Nope, it's me.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to harp back on Isis, but how are you going to call Isis the fashionista of this season when Hollywood is literally standing right next to her?
Honestly, I would say Hollywood and Flor.
Right. Fair.
And there's no shade to Isis. She's incredibly talented and lovely and wonderful and a great drag queen and doing very, very well in this season's Drag Race. But there is something that Hollywood and Flor have in common that Isis does not.
Yep. But yeah, she's so consistent for me, and I love this.
Hollywood ain't never missed on the runway yet.
Never.
Yet. And Isis has missed on the runway for me. And let me think.
I don't think Isis has missed either. I'm going to be honest.
I don't think Isis. I would say this runway here was not a total miss, but it wasn't what Hollywood has been doing on the runway the entire time.
Isis hasn't missed, but Holly has been giving a lot better quality. I'll say that. I don't think Isis has missed. I like this on Holly. The pool floaty where it's landing on the skirt is not my absolute favorite thing. I still think this look is really good. I also wish it hit the floor. It didn't, and I wish it had. I don't think this is a bad look by any means. I think Holly looks incredible. This is something completely different for her as well. We haven't seen anything on this like campy side really from Holly. So I was very excited to see this. It's not my favorite Hollywood look, but I do still think she looks gorgeous.
And I'm going to say this. This is my little moment with RuPaul that annoyed me. Because Ru, I don't like you pulling up your blackness when it's convenient for me. Because you sat here on this stage and was like, I mean, we need to see more vulnerability, yo. And I'm like, what?
It was
what? Where is this coming from? Like, what? And you do this only when you talking to Hollywood. Don't code switch on TV for us when you don't be doing that. Like, you ain't never talked to Hollywood that way before. And now all of a sudden it's yo, and we got blah. Absolutely not. And you want to tell her to be more vulnerable and she needs to open up and let down her walls. But like, she's like, this is who I am. And y'all just trying to make her into something you think she is. What if that's just her? Like, everybody's not the person to be like, I want to open up and be vulnerable in front of the world. And this is, I just want, that's, everybody's journey is not the same. And for them to feel like, for me, it feels like they trying to force something out of Holly that she's not prepared to show. And I'm like, this is TV. Some people have to guard themselves because of things that they went to. And for you to feel like you need to force out their trauma is very wrong and uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, don't do that. Because you don't know what she's been through. You don't know what her life is. And I feel like you should say something off camera to her and, you know, ask him to bring up, like, she feels very confused about what it is you want. She's like, what do you want that I'm not giving you? I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you looks. I'm giving you performance. I'm giving you Hollywood. This is what you signed me up for. You signed me up for Hollywood. You didn't sign me up for outside of Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? This isn't RuPaul's Drag Race / tell us all your trauma. This is, she's giving you the Drag Race part of her. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they want from her. And I understand they want her to be more vulnerable and how the walls break down, but that's who she is. Don't code switch over to be rude. That was very uncomfortable and cringy to watch. That yo stuff that she was doing. You don't talk like that. And you don't have to talk like that. You don't have to talk like that to other Black people because we understand. We all know we are not the same thing. We're not the monolith. We don't all talk like that. We don't all act like that. So therefore, just be you and stop trying to code switch for Black people when they on the show, when you don't be doing that for real. Because like, I've seen you act very ugly to your people of color or Black people on this show, and you don't treat them like you treat the white counterparts on said show. But then once you want to talk and you want to get down into I guess down to the nitty gritty of the conversations, you want to bring out your blackness. Absolutely not.
Especially on this franchise.
Absolutely.
Where people of color have been continually mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
From what I hear, all the people of color are the first people voted out.
I was going to say, why is the first boot of every single season of this franchise a person of color?
And I'm sure it's been deserved for a lot of them. I'm not going to say that some people didn't deserve to go because they just weren't good. But yeah, that's still a question you have to ask yourself. But don't do that, Rue. Mm-hmm. I just found that very uncomfortable and cringe. I'm like, you don't talk like that. You're not down for the cause, but because Hollywood is down for the cause and expresses that on a regular basis and very verbal about it. Now you want to yo
episode too in her performance.
Now you want to yo her. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm really getting the impression that they don't want somebody who was born in America, seemingly an American. She's lived in Australia 7 years. She's an Australian. Whatever she sounds like, she's an Australian. but I do not think they want her to win because
not.
she doesn't sound Australian.
Mhm.
And they're starting to pull focus off of how she's doing in the competition and switching it to other things that frankly do not matter. They're just grasping at straws. And based on the preview next week, I'm going to be really annoyed if they make this a huge plot line about her age and whether or not she's lying about it. Who cares?
Who cares?
If
Literally.
RuPaul is going to make a bigger deal about that than Scarlett Adams doing blackface in season 1,
Literally.
then I'm going to be annoyed. And it already looks like she is based on the preview for the next episode. So it's just ugly, and I'm not liking RuPaul this season.
No. Another reason why I'm saying, hey, maybe RuPaul doesn't need to host this franchise anymore.
Right.
But anyway, back to Holly. Scores for Holly.
This got an 80 for me.
I will give it an 89.
I'm going to give it an 85. Which I think is the first time this season I've given Holly anything lower than a 90, if I'm being honest.
If we're being honest,
But yes, so we kind of touched on the Holly of it all. I don't know if y'all had any other things to bring up specifically, like from the Untucked or from Hollywood straight up asking RuPaul what she needs to do.
No, I think we touched on it.
Yeah, I think I didn't really have anything else to say about it that y'all didn't already say very succinctly and very well done. So I echo what y'all said. But we get our top 3 of the week, the obvious top 3, Isis, Flor, and Holly, with the win going to Isis. And while I do understand it, and I'm not up in arms about it necessarily, my winner would have been Flor.
Mine would have been Holly. And Lana's would have been Flor, I think.
I was going to say Lana from the Beyond, I believe also, based on what she was saying, would have been Flor. So we have a very clear bottom 2, unfortunately, of Gabby and Mother Bumpa lip syncing to Are You Gonna Be My Girl by Jet.
It worked for me. It worked. I like this song. And
it worked for me too.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say.
It started and I was like, what the fuck is this song choice? And I think if it had been anybody else, I don't think it would have worked. But I think Gabby and Bumpa doing it worked somehow. Like, it's not my favorite lip sync of all time at all. But it was kind of cute. I wasn't mad at this lip sync.
I was happy I knew the song. I was like,
right? Are you gonna be
my girl?
It's one of those few male sung songs that I think kind of really works.
I was like,
yeah.
And I actually really liked that song. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I was like, this kind of works. I don't think either of them did anything groundbreakingly spectacular. I'm gonna be honest.
Good.
I thought it was
good.
I thought
they were both good.
I thought they were both fine. I was like, okay. I think they were on the same level. I don't think anybody outshined the rest.
I think this is in the upper half of lip syncs this season. Let me say that.
I like Gabriella better, but Bumpa still did it.
I
definitely think Gabby won it for me, for sure. For sure.
I don't know. For me, it was kind of both evil. I was like, whatever way it goes, it goes. Because I feel like Bumpa and Gabby both missed a few words from time to time because it was going so fast. But I think Gabby's performance was more like, she gave us Gabby. It was, just really goofy. And she would she would move. I think Bumpa was a little too stationary at some points. But then I was like, Bumpa's 50 years old.
Yeah.
She ain't finna be doing no kicks and splits and tricks and breaking her back for nobody. Absolutely not.
And to be fair, neither is Gabriella Labucci. So,
but here
Gabby was down on the floor, and she was,
So was Bumpa.
I mean, she got down there at the end. I was like, I hear you. I think it was a good performance. I was entertained by both of them.
Yeah.
And Yeah, sure.
I
Gabby
do
won.
want to say though, because I've had her back the entire episode, but I will not in this moment. Hollywood Star, you said that they reeked of desperation on the
They
stage.
did.
They did not. I
They
was not
did.
getting desperation. They
Both
were
of them were
giving solid.
desperation.
No.
What are
Well,
you?
since when is desperation in a lip sync for your life on Drag Race a bad thing?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it can be a bad thing for sure. But no,
I think
they
it can
were.
be a bad thing when Arizona Brandy is putting
Licking the floor.
putting translucent powder in her mouth and licking the floor twice. But usually, I will agree with you, David, a little bit. I don't think the comment was necessary. It very well was probably taken out of context, if I'm being honest, because the editors and the show is kind of doing anything. Like, I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know spoilers about this. If Holly goes next week, I'm not gonna be surprised. That's just kind of like the vibe I'm getting, because they've really completely 180 shifted her edit this week.
Watch them disqualify her for lying about her age to RuPaul.
Could you fucking imagine?
I will stop watching the show. They did that. I'm gonna just say that. Now.
Same.
I'm gonna put that on
Honestly,
record.
same.
If they disqualify Hollywood because of an age thing, and she turns out to be 38 instead of 26 or 28 or whatever, I will not be here next week to talk about it. I won't do it. Y'all can talk about it. I just won't do it because that's really ridiculous and outrageous. And no disrespect to the rest of the girls, because I do appreciate and love you, but I will not I can't sit here and
fair.
Be like, oh, that's great. We go keep on going like normal over some nonsense of her age. What does that have to do with anything? If she want to be 28, let her be 28.
It's giving the meme of, I can excuse racism,
but right? You can
draw the
racism
line at lying about your age.
I draw the line at age lying about. But honestly, I don't even and I think all lip syncs to me, when you lip sync for your life, it's a little bit of desperation in it because you're desperate to stay in the competition. You're trying not to go home. This is what you've been doing for whatever long period of time. And so this is your life right now. So all lip syncs, everybody's lip sync reeks of desperation to me. I didn't find that comment that upsetting, because it's like, yeah, they desperate. Why wouldn't they be desperate? They trying to stay. They are working their butt off to stay. I'm desperate. I'm gonna do everything I can to stay. Even when it's a great lip sync, it still reeks of desperation because they trying to stay.
Well, then you can at least agree maybe it shouldn't have been used as a negative thing about the lip sync.
And maybe she might didn't mean it as a negative thing. Maybe her intentions weren't negative, but the way they're editing it and they're editing Hollywood, maybe they made it seem more negative what her intentions were and when she said it. Because we don't know, she could have said this a long time ago and then they just put it in the edit this week because that's how they do. But
yeah,
who knows?
Well, unfortunately,
Mother Bumpa,
no.
I finally lost somebody from my team.
Oh, Mother Bumpa. I really can't even get mad at him for saying that because I accept it. I accept the loss. And so,
I can, because both of y'all bitches keep saying it.
I don't. I say this. I'm jumping on David's team. I will.
Yes, Team Hollywood.
Even though we think they trying to screw my girl over, but who has ISIS?
Mr. Talented.
I'm gonna jump on Mr. Talented's team because look. If I want to win, I'm gonna jump
Gabriella?
on. Who has Gabriella?
Dawn.
Kev?
Dawn.
Kev.
Yeah.
Kev. I'm trying to see, because if I want to win, I'm gonna jump on one of thetheir teams.
Why you literally just fuck my team? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You had Flor.
I sure do. Proudly.
And I understand you proudly should have Flor, but she's not gonna win. We know they're not gonna let her win. So
I know.
I mean, I'm talking about for the win. I have nobody, so I can't really. I'm really just laying here in the draft. I'm just laying here. I'm just sitting here.
Speaking of, we have Lana's out. Lana
Zippity doo.
Kev has 10 points. I've got 13. Mr. Talented has 19. David has 22.
Woohoo!
Hot on my tail.
Hot on your tail.
It's because I get negative points for people being lip syncs. That's not right.
Everyone does, David.
Yeah, but Lana got more points this week for her two people than I did for Bumpa.
What are we talking about? What's two people?
On that note, I'm done with this foolishness right now. Thank you so much for joining.
Zero is greater than -2.
Stop it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Things.
Yeah, subscribe, hit the buttons, do the things. Follow us on social media. Get your merch in the description below.
Yeah, this merch.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. I mean, I don't know. Today was a weird day.
Goodbye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.